Hello and welcome back to Generation in Between. And we are in our next segment of Nostalgic or Problematic.
Woohoo!
Back for 2025. We haven't done one of these in a while. And we decided it was time
It's
to
time.
revisit Dawson's Creek,
Cape Side.
Cape Side, Mass.
We're back.
We are back, Cape Side. So
Mhm.
we are starting season 2. And I don't know how long this is going to last because we just realized that Amazon Prime in 13 days will have Dawson's Creek season 2 no longer. So we shall see what happens.
We'll do a little research after this and discover where else it might be. We might just have to watch like bad quality ones on
I
YouTube.
know. Or pay what, $20 to download all the episodes?
Something like that.
That would
Which
be
might be
so
worth
annoying.
it. It might be worth 20
So annoying.
bucks. I
No,
don't
it
know.
wouldn't. It wouldn't. Anyway, so we are back to season 2. So if you are new to our podcast, hello.
Hi.
Thanks for stopping by.
Yes.
And we started a series last year called Nostalgic or Problematic, where we rewatch things from the 80s and 90s and kind of dissect them and talk about them from a current lens, whether or not they hold up and are still nostalgic for us, or they have lots of problematic things,
Yes.
which generally from the 80s and 90s, there's both. That's what we're learning.
Yes.
So we can hold the nostalgia along with recognizing the problematic shit that we used to do and say that we have maybe improved on and maybe not.
Maybe not.
Maybe
Yes.
not. Maybe we still have lots of problems. So our season 1 rewatch was fun. And like I just said, it was a combo of nostalgia and problematic. The main problematic was the damn teacher relationship.
Yes.
A 40-something-year-old teacher having an affair with a 15-year-old boy. So,
Yeah.
ew, gross. That went on way too long.
Way too long into the season.
But now we ended season 1. For those that don't remember, Dawson and Joey finally kissed.
Yes.
So, episode 1 of season 2 is actually called The Kiss. And here is the summary.
Okay.
Dawson and Joey embark on a romance as Jennifer tries to cope with the loss of her grandfather. So that was something else that happened. Jen's grandpa died at the end of that episode.
The
Yeah,
season finale. Yeah.
yeah, the season finale. So let's jump right in. So
Okay.
speaking of the title, I loved that season 2, episode 1 started right where the season finale of the first season stopped. It right away.
And we're going to talk about this as it happens, but so what was interesting is, yes, it was like right back in the bedroom where it ended, but then there's a new theme song.
Yeah.
And everyone's hair was different.
Everyone's hair
and all
is
the
different.
things. And I was like, well, how are they? And then they had some really creative ways in the episode that they accounted for that.
Yeah. We'll talk about
it. But yeah, I loved how it kind of just started there, and I liked that scene because they're already like awkward and having doubts.
Yeah. Well, because I hate to sometimes with season finales of shows, especially back in the 90s, it would be like this big season finale and then you'd come back the next season because guys, before streaming, we waited months and months and months. And then you got one episode a week. It wasn't like a full season released and you could binge it. It was one episode a week.
Until you were out.
Until they were done. And sometimes longer than that if there was a holiday thrown in, they threw in a rerun or whatever. And they would like skip a bunch of stuff. So it'd be like, for instance, instead of Dawson and Joey ending up right back where you left them, like a whole summer had gone by and they'd be holding hands walking down the hall at school. Like I always hated that because I'm like, well, what happened in the meantime? And then they'd give you like vocal summaries like, oh, well, this summer, blah, 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 to fill in the holes. And I hated that. So I really liked that it just picked up right where it left off, even though Dawson's hair was different.
Well, like his hair was the same in that scene.
Oh, it sure was. It was.
Right.
It was.
So that's what I mean.
Yeah.
It was kind of smart how they did it. But then, every show, but Dawson's for sure, they've got that couple minutes at the beginning before the theme song.
The montage.
Plays. The little, So it was like they're in the room and then right away, like Joey is like, oh, poof.
What do we do
we'll
now?
Pretend it didn't happen, and like all this kind of drama. And Dawson too. They're both equally dramatic. And then the theme song comes on and they look a little more grown up than season 1. The hair's shorter. They look more like college kids, in my opinion, than they did. And I was like, wait a minute. I literally just saw Dawson in that scene with his hair from season 1. So then one of the first scenes of the actual show, him and Pacey are getting haircuts.
Oh my God. And okay, this is skipping ahead of my notes, but we'll talk about it since we're there. Pacey with the frosted tips.
Dying.
Hello, every teenager and early 20s male identifying
He's
person.
Like, maybe I'll just frost my tips.
Oh, man, that was the hot hairstyle.
It did look pretty good on him.
I gotta say.
It wasn't bad.
I loved me some frosted tips on boys.
Yes.
I loved them.
I mean, and like Justin Timberlake made it like real famous. He did his.
I don't know if he was the first.
Not the first, but like he's one that immediately comes to mind for me. I forgot that Joshua Jackson had it this way in season 2.
I knew it was coming.
And then when that happened, I was like, yes.
I remembered. And I was like, I just love that they're like at a salon. Like that teenage boys don't usually go to salons. They go to like Caden goes to wherever can fit him in the fastest. So he's like Supercuts, sports clips, whatever. I don't want to be there. I just want you to cut my hair. He does not care. Because here's the nice thing when you are a male identifying person that has short hair, if you don't like it, it grows back in less than a month.
Easy,
right?
Yeah.
So why spend a bunch of money? That's his logic. And it actually makes sense. He's like, why would I spend a bunch of money? He's not wrong.
He's not wrong. And my son and my husband are the same way. Yeah. Like my son, like I always think he looks great. But of course, like he's like, oh, I've got a bad haircut. But he usually, if he mopes, it's maybe for like a couple hours. Yeah. And he's got, so your son has, I would say, like hair that's maybe a little more straightforward to cut.
Yeah, it's
style.
Not tricky. Well, your son has
hair
curly hair.
Is very curly very hair, thick. Yeah. So if you go to the wrong person, it can look a little wacky for a while. But even then, it's not long.
I know. And
it's
curly
like
hair's hard.
The way he wants it, you know?
Yeah.
So and my husband's the same way. He won't even tell me. He'll just be like, oh, I'm running to Publix. And he will. He'll run to Publix. But he'll also come back with a haircut. And hilarious. I'm like, oh, you got your haircut. He's like, oh, yeah. There was no line.
That's such a different life than I lead because I have to get my roots colored so I don't look 85. And what? It's serious.
I don't know. I've never seen you look 85. So because I don't know.
Every 6 weeks, my butt's in a salon chair. And I get my stripe. My stripe comes and I'm like, sometimes if I like am too late on my appointment, my youngest really likes to call out my stripe. He'd be like, oh, Mom. I'm like, yes, I know. Thank you. I have a white stripe of hair. And guys, just don't hate on me. I tried to go natural once. And it aged me, and I don't need to be doing that.
No shade to others who want to do it, and feel in it.
Yeah, I've seen people that it does not age them, which is bizarre to me.
Right?
Like they look older when they color their hair, and I'm like, how? That's not my life. Even my sister was like, "Ooh, don't do that again.
Just stop." Stop.
She can say that because she has no grays at 50.
Yeah,
none.
I noticed that.
Bullshit. And she's naturally blonde.
Well, they hide.
Yeah, you only have like a couple.
I have
streaks.
a couple. I've been getting a few more.
So they just look fun.
I've been getting a few more,
but they just look fun. Mine's my whole head. It's really bad.
It's like when it comes in, it comes in.
It's like it's my whole head, but not enough for it to be my whole head, so I could color it something else. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I still have enough of my dark brown that comes through. So it's just a pain in my. It's fine because I have a great hairstylist who colors my roots, and it's great. Anyway, so hairstyles.
No frosted tips for you.
Also, while we're talking on hair, did you not think it was funny? Like, this is the season where Jen cuts her hair short.
Yes.
But they haven't got there yet.
Yes.
So they're just pinning her hair up to make it look like it's long. But did you notice that the whole episode?
Now that you say that, yes. But I did not notice that before.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's very evident she has short hair that they're pinning up because she has the little thingies.
Like little wisps.
The wisp in the bottom. And I'm like, oh, yeah, because it's not until the second episode, maybe the third, where she chops it all off.
Oh.
But I'm not sure why.
Why did they just not have her? Oh, because literally her grandpa died the night before. So in real life, why
well, that's
was
what I'm
short?
saying.
Was she in a movie
she just
or
cut
something?
it. I think she just cut it. I don't know.
I'm cutting it.
I don't know. We'll have to look that up.
We should look that up.
I thought it was funny because I'm like, oh, yeah, like her short hair hasn't been revealed yet because it didn't happen yet in the storyline. Or maybe they had to refilm this episode or something.
Yeah.
Because that could have happened.
That could have happened. And they had already cut it.
Yeah.
Or just oh, yeah.
Yeah. Because she cuts it short. And when we get to that episode, we'll talk about how big of a deal haircuts in the 90s on TV shows were. But
oh, yes, they were. Okay. So we kind of skipped over. Oh, wait. I skipped over to the frosted tips. So what'd you have before that?
In the first 5 minutes, you see Dawson's dad with no shirt on. And that was lovely.
I was going to let you be the one to bring that up. I knew it.
I know. I can't help it. I was like, "Oh, he's here."
There he is,
And no
shirtless, no
shirt.
shirt. He was very cute. And I feel like I remember seeing that scene or just anything with like Dawson's parents or adults sort of either being intimate or kissing. And I remember it bothering me when I was younger, like almost like, oh, a mom and dad. But then now when I watch it, I'm like, yeah, good.
Oh, it bothered you watching him? It did not bother me.
I think it bothered me, like, just seeing
Oh, because
older
you're like
people.
middle-aged people, gross.
Not gross, but just like made me uncomfortable.
Oh, it made me uncomfortable.
But we're not going to say how. I was going to say this is a PG show, but no, it's not. Actually, no.
We don't. No, we got the E now.
We got the E.
We got the E.
It happened.
Well, you know what? I'm telling you, he was like my first. I mean, I was 18 when this season came out. I was in college, and I remember that he was a hot topic of discussion. This was like before like the daddy era where people talked about daddies all the time, right? Like
like now it's like a thing.
It's like a thing, but it wasn't really then. And I remember we would talk about Dawson's dad. We didn't even know his real name, like his actor name. It was just
you're like Dawson's dad. There he is.
Yeah.
What's his name on the show? Oh,
I
Mitch.
don't know. Mr. Leary.
Mr. Leary. Mitch Leary.
Mitch. I mean, that's a cute name.
That's a cute name.
See?
And then I was. It's weird that we're saying this about names because for some reason I thought about Dawson's mom's name for the first time, like
Gail,
and I was like, Gail. I feel like I used to hear that name all the time, but is anyone named Gail anymore?
Did you really hear that a lot?
Yeah.
No, you didn't.
Yes, not people my age, but I remember like friends of mine. I can think of 3 friends
what
that was their mom's name. Oh, so you think it's an uncommon name anyway?
I don't know anybody.
I had a moment where I was like, man, there used to be a lot of people named Gail. Where are all the Gails?
I think
seriously.
I think I remember one of my good friends in high school, her mom's name was Gail, and that was it. Maybe some ladies at church or something. I don't know, but I didn't think there was a Gail phenomenon.
Well,
where are all
maybe
the Gails?
Just where I'm from. Where are the Gails? Someone tell me.
I mean, but I don't know.
It's a cute name.
I don't like it.
You don't like it.
I mean, if your name's Gail,
it reminds me of like Claire. Gail. I just think it's cute.
Anytime I think of Claire, I think of Breakfast Club.
That's true. I saw this meme the other day and it was like, if I would have known how hard it was to name a kid, I wouldn't have held so many grudges in my life.
Oh, snaps.
And I was like, that.
So true.
All the names that you know, loved, except you can't use. But anyway, go ahead. What else you got? So him.
We're still talking about hair. I want to go back to hair because
back.
Dawson's new derpy do. It is derpy.
It is not. It's so cute.
It is. It is so cute. It is so derpy looking.
It's better. It's better than the other one. The other one was shaggy and I don't like it.
His hair in this show just remains derpy the whole time.
So first of all, what does derpy
I don't know.
mean?
We say this word in my house a lot.
You do?
I don't know. I think Troy invented it, but it fits.
It reminds me of like frumpy.
No,
is that what you're trying to say?
Kind of like dweeby, like derpy. I don't know. Maybe Caden invented this word.
Wonky,
I don't know.
Something like that.
No, like dweeby, wonky,
like just not cool.
Just derpy.
Not cool.
Like what? It's exactly how it sounds.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
That's fair.
I cannot believe you said. I thought you would agree with me on that.
No. I liked both of their haircuts, him and Pacey.
Okay, but they're very different.
They are. But I thought each one like suited them.
She got range. She got range.
You would think.
All right.
But no.
Moving on from hair. All right. What do you have?
Oh, I have this pulled up. I don't know why, because my other notes, I realized I wrote it in a notebook. But anyway, I liked the references to other couples on shows.
Oh, yes.
Where he's like, it took, he being Pacey, says to Dawson, because Dawson's relaying to him that there was this kiss. He's like, well, it took 4 seasons for Sam and Diane, and I can't remember that Scully and Mulder haven't even gone together yet. Which I was like, oh my God, what a time capsule.
What a time capsule.
That was so fun. But it's also like addressing the thing within the show.
Right.
It's like, I'm saying this like we're just like friends.
Yeah.
But like we're talking about
the show,
like the show itself, because people are like, will they, or he even says it's the will they, won't they, will they, won't they. And so I feel like I remember at the time thinking, and especially now, good on the show for like not dragging that out for 4 seasons.
God, I know.
I mean, as we'll see,
I mean,
it's still up and down. Not
the
everything is
whole
happily
show.
ever after, but good on them and just being like, you know what, these two are just going to be together.
Yeah.
For this portion of the
Give
program.
the audience what they want.
You know what? Yes. One thing I didn't like was her not going to France.
Oh, I have that too.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
Like immediately, like one
Immediately.
kiss and my whole trip's off.
Listen, y'all, you don't do that. You don't do that for other people, okay? No, especially when you're 16.
Yeah.
Live your life.
And
it's a summer. It's not like 6 years.
It's a summer. And if you're supposed to be together, you'll be together when you get back. Like,
do not pass up a once in a lifetime opportunity for a significant other. I'm just saying, when you're that young, years old.
It's different if you're like sharing a life together.
Well, if you have a family
already.
and kids, and you have to pass up on things. That's just called adulting, everyone.
But that's something you will have to do at some point.
Yeah.
So don't do it when you're 15, 16, 17, 18. Like, yeah.
You're young.
Save it for when you are old and boring and have to.
Correct.
Yeah,
I didn't like things up. I hated that too.
I didn't like that at all.
What I did like was Andy arrives.
That's
Jack's not there yet, but he's coming. Jack will be there.
I was gonna say I didn't see.
He's not in this episode.
Okay.
He'll be there.
Jack and Andy, siblings. Are they're twins or just siblings? I can't remember. They're just siblings.
I don't remember if they're twins or not. Okay. But I don't remember.
Close in age either way.
Yeah. But yay. I loved when she popped on the scene.
Yeah.
She's one of the oldest of the cast. She looks very young, but she was one of the oldest.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And she may have been the oldest. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I loved that. I mean, it's not funny to impersonate an officer.
Oh, it was funny.
I had to kind of remove myself because you guys know I'm true crime mind, and I'm like, oh man, like women have literally been killed by people pretending to be.
Right.
But also, it's like I feel like the way that they filmed it was in such a non-threatening way. Broad daylight. Also, Spacey.
I know he's like in a J. Crew shirt. Like, hello.
He's also like 16.
I know.
I'm like,
what?
Hello? Yeah.
No uniform.
And he jumps out the window of the police car instead of like opening the door.
Well, she ran into the door.
Oh, that's true. That's true. I just remember thinking that was like a funny way to get out, but I guess that was the only way he could get out now that you say that. Yeah, that whole scene was funny. And also just like the way, no hate or anything, but it was just like very obvious to me now as like a writer for many years, the way they fit so much exposition in that conversation. It was like, I live on this street and I moved from here and I'm also friends with the head cheerleader. And I was like, well,
but that's
so much
also
happening.
Because that's how Andy talks.
Okay.
Like she is like high strung and she like has anxiety and she's just like very, very, you may not remember from, you will, but that's just how she talks. She always has lots to say.
So we meet her and like this,
and that's immediately spot on.
This is her.
Everything is 600 sentences.
What did she mean when she called the cheerleader a Homo sapien?
Katie.
Did she literally just mean she's a human being? Or did she mean
yes?
But the way she said it, she was like, oh, she was like, she wouldn't be interested in you. She's a Homo sapien.
Right.
And I was like, what?
Because she means that humans would not be attracted to Pacey.
Okay. I mean, I guess.
It's a bad joke.
Well, and also like 90s, I'm like, is she trying to say something else? I don't know. I was confused. I was like, is the cheerleader gay? Like,
what?
Did I miss that? Okay.
But what's the name of that actress?
That's what I was just trying to look up. That's why I was on IMDb.
Was it Allie something or other?
Yes. Allie. Oh my God, I can't think of her name.
Anyway, I remember she was in like every 90s thing, Varsity Blues. Yes,
and she's got that like raspy voice.
And she's so pretty.
She, right now, have you seen that new show? I haven't watched it, but with Billy Bob Thornton called Landman.
Girl, you know I'm not going to know anything new.
She's in it.
Oh, really?
And I don't know if she's supposed to be his wife or something, but the whole I know, right?
Come on.
But look, the premise is that he's like an oil rig owner, really rich guy.
Oh, and he has a trophy wife.
So that's his wife.
Okay, well that makes sense.
And then it's like the whole like underbelly of that world, like people getting beat up.
Look up her name. And look up Varsity Blues, and it'll pop up.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
And she was in that with James Vanderbeek.
I know. She wore the whipped cream bikini.
Yes, her.
What's her name?
I'm looking. Allie Larder.
Larder.
That's
it.
the one.
She was in so much stuff in the 90s.
Her and Amy Smart both.
Yeah.
They were in like everything.
She was and she's just gorge.
She's beautiful. And I love her voice. And yeah, she's great. I don't remember. Did we see her a lot during this season? Or is it just kind of in this episode?
She's kind of in and out, but
okay. I couldn't remember if like we saw her, like if she was like a Scott Foley situation.
I think so. I don't remember. I'm trying to remember. I don't know. That's okay. IDK. That's my answer.
IDK. I love it.
Okay. Something else I did not enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
I just poor Jen. Okay.
I wondered
the scene. Okay, so she's grieving. You know, she lost her grandpa. Plus, she's realizing like Dawson and Joey are like getting together.
She's kind of like figuring that out.
And so she just feels so like lost, which we already knew. And so she's like outside sad, and like Dawson's all bebopping because he's going on a date with Joey, right? Mm-hmm. He comes over and they have this conversation, and Dawson and she was asking about Dawson and Joey, and he's like, well, whatever. And she's like, well, what about Dawson and Jen? And he's like, well, I just think what you really need right now is a friend. And she's like, yeah, that'd be nice. So he like gives her a hug and everything. She's going through this hard time. And he's like, okay, I gotta go. And he's like, and don't be so sad. Don't hate the world. It's nice out. And I'm like, what the fuck are you doing?
What?
Like, she just told you that she's sad and she hates the world and her grandpa died. She's obviously having a hard time. He's like, you need a friend. Okay, bye. Don't hate the world. It's nice out. Hello? Yeah. Oblivious Dawson.
And do you think that's bad writing, or do you think they did that on purpose to make Dawson seem
Oh no, oblivious? I think they did that on purpose.
Okay.
But it's just annoying. I don't like it.
It's annoying. Yeah. It's like, you need a friend. It should be me. Just kidding. Bye.
Yeah. How are you being a friend?
And also, why are you still grieving? It's nice outside. Hello?
Or like, you know, okay, you need a friend. I have plans. Why don't we get together after? I don't know, something. But also, he's a teenage boy.
So maybe, yeah, reality.
Out of touch with
and I mean,
emotions.
The stuff with Graham's not grieving was interesting too. Graham's not grieving in the way that Jen wanted her to.
Well, I thought that was interesting, but I understood what Graham's was saying. Because for her, she was saying he had a stroke, and for 2 years he's been bedridden. And she's like, I just prayed for his release because she knew he was living a life that he didn't like. That was not him.
Right.
So I can understand you kind of probably from her point, like she said they were together 40 years or something, right?
Wow. Yeah. Something like that.
And so you have to get to a point where you can start to distance.
Yeah.
Or you're going to shatter. And then you have to think, okay, like, this is not the life they want. So I have to just be okay with this. And I don't think she was okay. She was sad. But I think she had been grieving for 2 years already.
That's what I was thinking.
Do you know what I mean?
Like, her grief point already came.
Yeah.
Probably when she realized he was not going to ever get better.
Right.
And you know, again, that's like interesting, like with real life, like even with my mom, like when Alzheimer's,
right.
You know, it's like you've already kind of, I'm not saying it will be good when eventually she passes, or that I won't be sad, or that my family won't be, but the person that you would traditionally grieve isn't there.
Right.
And it doesn't make them less of a person or undeserving of safety and love and all those things, which I do think Graham obviously provided to him well.
Yeah.
And Jen too. But it is not happiness, but yeah, like you said, like relief, like knowing that you did do all physically and mentally and emotionally that you could for the person. Right. And then that was just their time to go.
And I do think, I mean, probably too, a piece of this that nobody ever talks about with full-time caretaking, there probably is a sense of relief that nobody wants to say because you feel guilty, but it's okay. It's normal to feel that. You know, for 2 years, she's had her spouse in bed, like with no, you know, I mean, her whole life has had to revolve around that.
Yeah.
So there probably was a sense of relief as well, especially because he was not living a life she knew he would want to be living.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes, absolutely.
And I think that is okay. So that's probably another piece of it for her. you know?
Yeah. I know we talked about this last season where we always just feel so bad for the loneliness of Jen.
Oh, yeah, the loneliness. It's
And I
so
really felt
heartbreaking.
that this episode, even though I
Yeah.
agree with what you're saying about Graham and her grieving process, it does feel like Jen is alone
Yeah.
in this journey again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whether it's right, wrong, not, like, it just is.
Well, she doesn't have, like, even before Dawson and Joey were, like, dating, they had each other, like, besties, and it's hard as somebody who has moved even as an adult, and you've moved, you've switched schools and when you're it's hard being the new person when everybody else is established.
Yes.
And then you have something shitty happen and you don't have a person.
Yeah.
And the people around you are like, "Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, you need friends." But then I already have this whole life.
Right.
And then, like, her grandmother is not exactly her favorite person in the world either.
Right.
So, yeah, and Jen goes through it this season, guys. So if you haven't watched it,
Yeah.
there's stuff she goes through it.
So the loneliness and I think that's interesting to have all of that angst kind of focused on one character. I mean, obviously they all have their own things going on and all that, but to have all of that on the shoulders of one character is an interesting choice.
Well, they do bring in other things this season.
Okay.
Because you have to remember, this is like a 90s, drama, teen drama. So you have to have your token people, right?
Right.
You have to have your girl next door. That's Joey. You have to have your, cute little heartthrob, sarcastic person. That's Pacey. You got to have,
sort of narrator,
right,
main person. That's Dawson.
Of course.
Yeah.
And then there's going to be other characters that pop in. I'm not going to tell you who Andy is at the moment, but and then Jack, he has a whole storyline that he's a token for.
Right.
Et cetera, et cetera. So I think Jen is just the token outsider. And then she becomes the troubled person.
Yeah. It's giving Shannon Doherty in 90210. That was another reference they made.
Yeah.
About 90210. That was it. And I was like, oh yes, this is so great. Like, I'll just watch 90210 or
love that.
Whatever. Yeah. That was crazy. So what about this storyline? Well, now that we've mentioned their names with Mitch and Gail and him. What's going on there?
I wrote a sad face because I feel for Dawson's dad because he, Gail, she'd be like, trying to jump him first thing in the morning and then be like, oh, I rushing home from work and being like, I don't ever want you to doubt me again. And it's like, bitch, he can't just get over it. Like, and she's not really, she wants, and I get it because she wants to just be like, let's move on. Like, I fucked up. Let's move on. I'm sorry. Let's fix it. But that's easy to say when you're the one doing the thing.
Yeah.
But when you're the one feeling the effects of the actions, you can't just move on.
Right.
And he is going through that super hard struggle of, all right, can I live with this the rest of my life and move on? Or I just need to be done with it. And it's a hard ass. And she doesn't like that.
Right.
Because she's like, just either divorce me or say yes. And he's like, I don't know. And I think that's unfair of her to like make your decision. It's like, well, you've been having an affair for all this time. You were not making a decision. You wanted to be sleeping with this guy and being married. So
right. And really, honestly, she never really did make a decision. She got caught.
Didn't. She got caught.
Yeah.
It's not like she came to him and said, oh, I'm so sorry.
I've thought about it, or
I really
it's
fucked up.
been over and I've processed it. But it was like, no. It was like, I'm caught and now, oh shit, what do I do?
Right. Because probably in his brain, if it was me, he's thinking, well, how much longer would this have gone on? Will this happen again? That's not even with the same person.
Right. Is it just a tendency? And like, if they could do it once, could they do it again?
And if there was a reason for it happening once, obviously he's like, well, what? Whoop. It's empty, everyone. Don't worry.
Don't worry, guys. Everything's fine.
So I feel for him more than I feel for her.
Yeah.
I really do.
I get that.
And it's shitty. And like, now that I've been married as long as them, that would take the wind out of my sails and then some if I had to deal with that.
Yeah.
And I would probably be like him. I'd be like, I don't know what to do.
Right. And I agree with you. Like, I don't think he needs to know right now. But then the other side of that is at some point you have to, like you said, come to a full decision.
Yeah.
Which is either a full walk away or a full, maybe I'm not okay today, but I'm committing to being okay for the rest of my life because I'm not going to be a martyr or live in resentment or put my family through that for the rest of my life. Right. So at some point you have to pick something. I actually wondered in that first scene, and this is just maybe cynical me, when he didn't want to, I was like, well, is he having an affair? But then you see later on, like, he's
I think that's kind of an unfair gender stereotype. Maybe that snuck in there.
Do you think? Because she had an affair.
No. I'm saying because he wasn't in the mood.
Oh.
Maybe you're like, you're thinking there had to be a deeper reason.
So is that a gender stereotype?
I don't know. That's what I was just wondering.
Or is that like actually true? Like,
well, I think I will say this. As much as I hate on the patriarchy all the time.
Yes.
I do think there are some unfair stereotypes put upon men with sex.
Okay.
There are times, like, he is going through it emotionally and his wife was in this, his beautiful wife, throwing herself at him in this cute little nightie, first thing in the morning, which if you know anything about hormones for men,
usually good time
perfect
to catch
time.
Them. Good time to catch them.
But I think it's unfair. Not that you were doing this.
No, I know.
But I think that it is an unfair thing to think that men also can't have emotions shut them down physically.
Okay.
Because we are led to believe that they can have sex and most of the time, yes, but also emotions can stand in the way. Like, and that's what was happening. And so yeah. I appreciated that he's not having an affair, by the way, spoiler alert.
Okay.
That was there because
it wasn't because of that. It wasn't because his sexual desires are being met somewhere else. It was because he didn't have them in that moment for her because of the emotions.
Exactly. Yeah. But I think we don't expect men, that straight men, I guess, is probably we don't expect them to have that same emotional response. We expect that their physical needs always overcome their emotions. And with women, it's the reverse.
Right.
And I don't think that that's all the time true.
In either way, in either case.
Right. I think we are led to believe that so strongly that we've made ourselves think that. Yeah.
I also think too.
Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
No, I mean, and when you say like you hate on the patriarchy,
that is
the patriarchy. Oh, you're not saying correct. You're saying the individuals that have to live by those patriarchal rules.
But the patriarchy hurts men too.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That the men, it's not the individual men necessarily, it's the system of that.
Correct.
Right. That would cause us to think that, other people as well as men to think, oh, what is wrong with me?
Right. Because
when there's nothing.
For example, like when you said it made you think, oh, is he having an affair?
Yeah.
That would be feeding into that patriarchal ideal. Because why wouldn't he?
She's there and cute, and who cares if she hurt his feelings?
Right.
Which also, like, the other component of that is I just know how things were written at the time.
I know.
So there was that too.
I know.
Where I was like, oh, are they trying to tell us through this?
Correct. But again, they were written like that because
it's ingrained.
Right.
That's an easy storyline.
Yeah.
Because everyone will absorb that and believe that.
Right.
So does that mean that in this storyline, the Dawson's Creek writers are actually being a little bit elevated?
Maybe.
Wow.
Maybe, but I don't think they intended to. I think they did it by accident.
It's an accidental or to throw us off the scent.
I know,
to make us think that. But then he goes to see a divorce lawyer or whatever, and you like see, oh, it's not that. It's just he was thinking about.
It's probably more of that,
just to like, confuse us.
Yeah. To throw us off,
which is not the hardest thing to do, my friends. Not back then or now. What else you got?
Okay. I think I only have one more thing. So while Joey's getting ready to go on the movie date, there's a song that comes on, and I instantly remembered all the words to it because it was on that soundtrack that I had, the Dawson's Creek soundtrack.
Oh, right. I was trying to figure out what some of them were.
Yeah, and the song, it was like, I'm coming home to you.
Yeah.
As soon as I heard those two phrases, I was like, I know the rest of the song. I remembered every single word.
Oh my God.
Isn't that
That's
weird?
awesome.
I was like,
how do I know this?
It's so weird how like music can stay in your brain, but like you can't remember where you put your keys.
Yeah.
Like I probably haven't heard that song since 1999.
Wow. No,
because why would I? It wasn't like a popular song. It was one that was just on that soundtrack CD that I would listen to.
Yeah.
So probably early 2000s.
And it's not like it's been replayed over the years on things that you listen to.
So like over 20 years ago, I probably haven't heard that song, but I loved it. I love that. It has some really good harmonies. Did you notice? And so that's probably why I used to like it so much, because there was always a line for me to sing.
That's why.
I know. That's why I love the Indigo Girls so much.
Yes. They're a good example.
Oh my God. I love the alto harmonies, and there's alto 2 harmonies on Indigo Girls.
Yeah. They got some.
Anyway, that was my last thing. What else do you have?
Yeah, that was it too.
Oh, you don't have anything else?
Yeah, that was it. I was just
double check.
Yeah, that was it. And I was curious, like, what's going to happen with, because I knew Andy had a brother, so I remember thinking at the end, I wonder when he comes in. And then also just, I guess I thought that Jen's hair was already short, but that wouldn't have made sense because we're still in the
She has a whole scene where she cuts it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe that's just me remembering that at some point Jen cuts her hair, and now watching it again going, yeah, Jen got a haircut for season 2.
Yeah.
But if you like were watching it in order, that wouldn't make sense.
I'd be like, wait, where's Jen's long hair?
But I guess because like retrospectively, I'm like, yeah, her hair's short in season 2.
Yeah.
Even though storyline, that wouldn't have made sense for this one.
No. But I think it's coming up. I want to say she cuts it.
It's soonish.
I thought she cut it the first episode, but obviously that didn't happen yet. It must be the second.
It must be coming up. Yeah.
So we'll keep watching as long as we can access it.
I am intrigued. Yeah. I need to find the haircutting one like today.
I know.
It might, we'll find it somewhere, somehow.
Also, we should probably pause for a second and talk about James Vanderbeek did just announce recently he has stage 3 colon cancer.
Oh, I did not see that.
Like literally recently, just
like over the holidays or something. Or
I want to say it was in the month of December. Yeah, because I kept meaning to talk to you about it, and we had lots of other things happening.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's
I
really
see that. I'll have
sad.
to look
and
at
he has a big family.
Stage 3 is. Yeah, I mean it's not incurable, but that's pretty far along.
It's really sad. He's young. I mean, he's our age.
Yeah, he's our age.
So.
And he's got 5 or 6 kids.
Yeah, I don't know like
a lot.
But I think he started speaking about it just to raise awareness.
Yeah, so good. I mean, good that he's doing that.
Yeah.
But like also, if he didn't want to do that, totally fine. Yeah. His private information. But he's got a broad reach, and I think a lot of people, especially our age, we're getting to that. We're not there yet. We're getting to that colonoscopy age, unless we have a risk factor. So having someone who we view as a peer, say, I have this thing, I think could help a lot of people and save a lot of lives.
Well, I mean, I don't know if you remember years and years back when Katie Couric's husband got diagnosed, and she did hers on air on the Today Show. Like when that happened, women, especially, the rate of them getting their colon screenings went up exponentially.
Yeah.
So, I mean, for people who think it doesn't matter, celebrities like talk about stuff. It does, though.
It does.
It really does. It's just like when we talked about it with X-Files, with Gillian Anderson playing a forensic scientist. That is called the Scully effect. Like it is now a societal like term.
Yeah.
Because again, exponentially rates went up with women in that job profession.
Yeah.
So it does. I mean, it does make a difference, but it just made me sad to see that.
Yeah.
So
gosh, wishing him well.
I know.
And hopefully he will have access, I'm sure, to the best care out there as much as he can get, and certainly for his children's case. I mean, he's got little ones.
And it's also too like jarring because he's a really healthy guy. Like he talks a lot about he takes very good care of himself with what he puts into his body and how he moves his body, and like he's a very like health conscious person.
Yeah, they like live on a farm and like grow their own food and like all the things. Now they're not off the grid, but like a little bit that rural
they're very
lifestyle.
in tune with nature and health and
very
all
holistic. Yeah.
And so to see like, oh gosh, even he has to deal with cancer, it's jarring, you know?
I think that's maybe the most important thing that he can bring to this.
Yeah.
Is that, I don't mean this like to be ominous, but like no one is safe.
I know.
So like get screened.
Yeah.
Get the medication that's available to you. If you notice signs,
yeah,
like don't just think it's, oh, that's for people who have maybe what I view as an unhealthy lifestyle or whatever. And I do this, and this. I mean, yes, his age and his celebrity for sure. But what you just mentioned might be like the biggest way he helps this cause.
Yeah.
Is people realizing. And he's younger than the risk age.
I know.
If he's in his 40s, you know, like it's 50, sometimes even older than that before they even screen you. So dang. Okay. Well, we're wishing him well. We'll keep an eye on that during this season, nostalgic or problematic. And hopefully we will be able to watch some more. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
We'll keep you guys posted. We'll watch them as long as we can, as long as they're on Prime.
Let us know what you think of season 2 of Dawson's Creek, as long as you can watch it.
Yeah.
And I know some of you listen and don't watch Dawson, so we're kind of giving you. You're going to learn all about. I think you're going to learn about season 2 by listening to us.
I know. I love that.
I love that.
I love y'all that listen to these Dawson's episodes and have no fucking clue what we're talking about.
So
it's
good.
Even better because you're like, what is this show? It's the 90s. That's what
the
it
90s,
is.
baby. But thanks again for listening.
Thanks, guys.
We'll see you back on for another normal episode. See you soon.
Bye. Bye.